I get, oh, g'day Duck, and Nem, if you watch this, Pete. I hope I get all the information that I thought of earlier in this video. I should have written it down when we were talking, Duck. Anyway, the ley lines. I saw so many connections when we were discussing all the magnetics and everything. The video above is, like I said, from 5 years ago. The one I was trying to find for February this year, he looks deeper into it and talks about how he's figured out how the stars are made. My perspective, what I'm seeing is, I've seen, it's so hard to explain. I've seen evidence of repeating patterns everywhere. We know that they've messed with the sky, it's all plasma, and they're faking stuff up there. I think it goes much deeper than that. It's looking more and more like we really are in a matrix, and what I'm seeing is either the perspective that we can't see through the sky and it's all being faked. Everything that is shown past the sky is all being faked. That's where I'm seeing the repeating patterns. Or I'm seeing the reality of our universe. I'm seeing the reality of the, I don't, it's so hard to explain. Anyway, the video I was looking for, he goes deeper into how the stars are made. He talks about a blue line that he's found in deep space, like a grid line. All the stars travel along this line. He talks about how they're not round, they're square, and they are constructed, the stars are constructed in deep space and they travel along blue lines. That makes me think of the blue beam that I've caught, about 4 or 5 times now in my sky, coming out from the left and right side of the sun, parallel. I don't know if you saw those videos, but yeah, the blue beam. That also connects with what he's saying in the video above about the cross shape, the lines, the sun's rays, how he says about how they're solid. That could be the blue beam. The blue beam could be the grid. I'll insert I'll insert an emoji here to show you what I mean, the grid around the earth. And I've lost my train of thought now. The blue beam could be the grid. The grid could be the ley lines, all connected, the space fence, the magnetics, and so if he's seeing this in deep space, then deep space is either part of the matrix that we are in, or we can't see past the sky and deep space is being faked, and that's how it's being faked. I hope this makes sense. Trying to think of what else. How he says in the video above, the corona gets left behind. That to me is evidence of what people film when the stars seem to morph and move around. I think that's what that is. Also, we know that NASA is hiding things and faking things. What if these pictures are real, but they're pictures of the fake sky? I hope I'm explaining this right. It's it all sounds nuts when I say it out loud. Yeah, so trying to think of what else, other connections. There was so many. Pause for a second. Okay, so just throwing this in here quickly tonight. This is an example of how they mess with me. They do this while I'm making videos and it freaks me out just a bit. And here's a nexus point, and just above Sydney, the orange line, that's the ley line that goes through Bluebeard 2011's house. His house is on that ley line. So that relates to the Newcastle earthquake as well. And the nexus point you're looking at, the next picture is the latest earthquakes. When we were talking yesterday, the latest one looks like it's right on that nexus point. Anyway, back to my speech. Okay, back. Sorry, I'm ad-libbing this, and I've got a year's worth of research going through my head right now. Remember the video I made for you with Venus showing that blue beam is active, and Venus was sitting in a little circle? There's circles and triangles and squares like that up in the sky. Okay, it's very hard to explain because I can see it, but saying it out loud. Okay, we know the cloaking is magnifying everything. They bend the light, they trick us with colours and light. I really do think they have 3D printers floating around up there, because the sky is a repeating pattern everywhere, day and night. I think the ley lines and the magnetics, the grid, can explain how they do it. And I think the self-replicating technology is real up there. I've seen it in pictures of Hurricane Michael. So if they're doing that up there, they're using all of this to create the deep space images, to create the images we see from the ISS, and to create the image of the sky we see from the ground. It's all using the same technique. I'm seeing the same trickery and repeating patterns in every viewpoint, every perspective, from the ground, from above, and in deep space. Anyway, and I think it's like dark I don't know how to explain it, but it's either all being faked and we can't see past it, or I'm seeing our reality, and I don't know, it's just all hitting me now. I'm even seeing the same repeating patterns in nature, like throw me a picture of a wave breaking, and I'll see the same repeating patterns in that wave. Show me a picture of a field of grass. I'll see the same repeating patterns in that. A tree trunk. In the carpet, I was looking in the. This is insane. I was just looking at the carpet in the lounge room last night, and I caught a pattern caught my eye. Just from walking across, from me and Mum walking across the carpet, and the dog walking across the carpet. There was a pattern there, and it was the same as the patterns I see in the sky, and in deep space pictures. It's just insane. We're in a matrix, and everything is controlled. Everything is controlled, and we're stuck in this world